Good evening, everybody, good evening, and welcome to AZMR on Zed Digital. I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which this show was created, the Jagera and Turrbal peoples. I pay respects to their elders past and present, and acknowledge that sovereignty over this land was never ceded. Sovereignty was never ceded. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to AZMR episode number 14. Episode number 14. If you're new here, my name is Polly, and I'm going to bring you just a couple of hours of low sensory and ASMR radio content. ASMR radio content. Welcome back to all our regular listeners. Thank you for staying with me and having a cute time every week. We're having a very cute time. If you'd like to catch up on some past episodes, you can head to the 4ZZZ on demand service for zzz.org.au/program/AZZZMR, and you can listen to the last 6 episodes, and any episodes older than 6 are on YouTube under AZZZMR.4ZZZ, I think, something like that. You should be able to find us by just a little search, and you can listen to the older episodes along with some visual accompaniment like bamboo blowing in the breeze. And I think last week we had a perpetual motion machine that was just swinging for a couple of hours, which is fun. So fun. So if that's what you're into, go give it a little look-see. And we also have social media, AZZZMR.4ZZZ on the Facebook and the Instagram, if you want to give us a little follow and look at lots of pictures of my cat, Coco. Because that's the place to go for pictures of my cat. And yeah, cool. So if you haven't noticed already, there's a lot of bonus sounds this evening. Lots of bonus sounds. I'm recording tonight's episode on location in the Capera bushland. Because I've had a pretty big week. Very, very big week. And I'm generally feeling like a big old bag of dicks. And I just kind of needed to get outside and touch some grass. So I went outside and am touching grass. As I speak, I am touching grass. Not too far from civilization, you might hear the odd train or alarm or, I don't know, general suburban noises. I guess I kind of just really enjoyed the background noise of the ignition coil tutorial last week. I enjoyed listening back and hearing the woof woof and the tweet tweet and the odd kind of distant car noises. And I guess I thought, you know what, a little bit of background tweetin' isn't so bad. So here I am in the outdoors, touching grass. I'm sitting on a grassy knoll in the Capera bushland, and there's butterflies just fluttering by me, and there's flies and bees and flowers and birds and sunshine and a little breeze, and I'm having a very lovely time. But I'm also very sleep deprived, which, if you're here listening to this, you may be too. You may also be sleep deprived. But this week, it's not the old insomnia holding me back from the snooze. It's actually myself and my inability to resist a good party. So we're gonna hear more about that. I think later or sooner. I don't know. Let's just let you know what's coming up on the show tonight. On tonight's show, we'll have... Okay, so sooner, I guess. I'll be reading you out the Bigsound 2024 timetable in its entirety. It's... multiple bands will play multiple times, so you'll hear the same band a few times. There's a lot of times and venues and bands, and very, 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 very sleep-inducing. I'm sure. I'm not sure, but it may be. I've also got an old copy of the Radio Times. Now, if you're a regular 4ZZZ listener, you may be aware that we have a radiothon every August, usually August. And during Radiothon, the station releases a little zine called the Radio Times. Has a bit of some cute facts and articles in it from the people at 4ZZZ. Anyway, I found a very kind of mangled copy of the 2015 Radio Times, and I'm going to read some bits from it, so that'll be a bit cute coming up. I also have, inspired by last week's Hughenden map reading, I also found just a brochure about the Australian Dinosaur Trail, which has some facts about some of the places you can go in the Australian outback or the Queensland outback to see the dinosaur stuff. If you are super interested after last week's episode of more dinosaur stuff, this is just going to be a little taste of the places you can go, which is where the dinosaur stuff happens. So that's a fairly cute time. We're also going to have some piano at the end to help you get to sleep, and there'll be a lot of just tweeting noises throughout, just various birds and bees and buzzing and trees. I think there's a plane sound, maybe you can hear that, I don't know. And rustling, maybe some rustling leaves, just throughout. So I'm optimistic that that's going to be quite relaxing, and I'm looking forward to bringing you the Touching Grass episode of AZMR on Zed Digital, episode number 14. So I'm going to start with the Bigsound stuff. I guess there's a lot to say here. I did pick up one of these paper timetables from a table at a bar in the middle of the night, and I wasn't really using it at all. I picked it up kind of towards the end, but I was using the app a lot because you can star the acts that you want to see, and then you can go across, like press on my schedule, and it'll just show you the starred ones, so you won't get all like, I don't know, 50 bands or however many bands there are. There's a lot of bands, so maybe it's more than 50. Oh geez, I don't know. There's a lot. 100? I don't know. Does it say that anywhere? Lots of bands. Let's just say lots of bands. So you don't have to kind of scroll through everything. You can just see at a glance what you wanted to see at each time, and just move to the venue, because there's so many different venues and you move around a lot or you can just stay in one if you like, but you're going to miss a lot of good stuff. And so, yeah, I didn't actually have a paper timetable. I just kind of found this. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be panic doing ASMR at the end of the week because I'm not doing it on my regular day because I'm doing the partying. So I might as well collect content for me to panic ASMR. I don't know. It's fine. We're doing well. So for those who don't know, Bigsound is an annual music industry event in Brisbane held across multiple different venues in Fortitude Valley. And during the day they have like the conference, so they have various panels and speakers in the panels, and it's kind of geared toward helping both artists or industry like delegates in various industry related fields, whether it's like touring. I think there was one about touring and climate change and how you can tour with reduced carbon emissions or something. There was another one about aging, like how ageist the industry is and when you're aging out or something. I don't know. I didn't go to any conferences because I have a day job, and also because I didn't have a delegate pass. And yeah, and then they also have various shows throughout the day as well. So some bands will play throughout the day at kind of smaller events than like the big showcase. But then at night, the big showcase happens from 6 p.m. till midnight-ish. And it's just heaps and heaps of bands playing half-hour sets at heaps of different venues. And most bands will play sometimes more than once on the same night, and sometimes they'll play multiple times, like each night, or like once each night. And sometimes they'll only play once. And so it's held across 3 days, I think Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, around this time of the year. And I think they do have some things on Friday, or maybe it's like wrap-ups things, like there's a brunch or something. And they also, so in Fortitude Valley, other venues that aren't part of Bigsound will also put on things, and those will be generally free events that are available for the public. The public can buy passes, of course, to Bigsound, but is a price. That there you can get like a delegate pass, which is to go to all the conferences and stuff, but you can also just buy passes to the music part of it, the music showcase. So you can buy individual night passes, or you can have a 3-day showcase pass, which is what I had. And yeah, it's just a lot of late nights in the middle of the week when you have to work. It's a bit tricky. Oh, there's critters. Oh dear, okay. And work has been pretty hectic this week as well on top of that, so it's been kind of extra tricky to deal with on, 2 to 3 hours sleep. But it's fine. It's fine. So Bigsound is like kind of, there's a lot of people that have critiques about it, myself included. Yeah, it's not universally loved as an event. It does have a lot of positives. I really like Bigsound because I get to see heaps of artists I wouldn't normally see, and it's really, I don't know, it's kind of a lot, but kind of back to back to back to back to back to back to back, and you can leave someone and go see someone else if you weren't vibing, because they have 5 bands on at the same time, for 30-minute sets every 15 minutes. So there's some overlap, and sometimes you have to choose which band, which is a general festival thing. I just really love music, so I like consuming as much as possible, especially live music. I really, really love. This year there were a lot of like trans and non-binary and queer representation across the bands, more than I've ever seen before at a Bigsound. And I think that is from Transmission on Fourteenth Zeds on Tuesday. From Transmission program was consulting, so that probably had a huge part of that. But I thought that was really, really great because, you know, things can get a bit boring when it's just all men bands, white men bands. You know, you get it. Anywho, I think that it's also a good place for artists to meet each other and complain about the music industry together, which is kind of cute. I guess they call it networking, but just meeting people and having a cute time, and that kind of camaraderie of all being in the same thing. You know, you're sort of, I guess at one of these events maybe you're competing against each other, but you're not really competing against each other. You know, if you were successful, you could help lift other bands up. That's how it works. And, you know, just elevating diverse voices, especially. I think they did a pretty good job of that this year. And yeah, cute. There's a lot of positives about the event, I think. And there's also a lot of critiques, and I'm just gonna, I don't know if you want to hear my opinions on this. Maybe. I'm just gonna say that anything that I say about this is not Fourteenth Zed's official stance, because Fourteenth Zed very much supports Bigsound. Bigsound supports Fourteenth Zed. I think perhaps not as much as it could, but that's fine. I think Bigsound could do a little bit more to support community media, and, you know, they did give out passes to Triple Z, but maybe they should have a few more, because, you know, honestly, the people at Fourteenth Z are the ones helping the smallest bands, helping them grow and giving them a platform before they become big enough to be a Bigsound, I suppose. So, I know, you know, you can get big on TikTok or whatever, but I think that Fourteenth Z is really, really huge part of the Brisbane scene. I mean, that's not up for debate at all, but I think, yeah, there could be a little bit more give, I think. But also other community radio stations around the country. There's a lot of people that come up from those stations for Bigsound. I just think that, yeah, we wouldn't have the bands if there wasn't for community radio helping to elevate them. So really important. But yeah, there's some things. There's like the paying of artists is a fairly controversial topic, or they're not paying of artists. So they sometimes get kind of bigger bands to come in and just play a one-off show during the Bigsound. Oh, that's a very loud aeroplane. Yep, still going. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going. Yeah, so how it works is artists will apply to play at Bigsound, or to go and be, you know, part of the showcase. And, you know, it's like $50-ish to apply. But then when they get selected, if they get selected, they don't get paid to perform. And they do it for the possibility of getting someone in the industry to pick them up. They have like a profile on the Bigsound webpage where they have what they're looking for, like international touring or international manager, you know, Australian distribution, I don't know, label, whatever. You can get PR, I don't know. They'll have a list of the things that they're looking for or what they want to get out of Bigsound. So anybody who's in that field can know and kind of easily see, oh, they are looking for something, like this is someone I can kind of go check out. I might be able to get, you know, involved with them. So that's why it's the kind of the playing for exposure thing, but I guess it's amped up to 100 because there's a lot more exposure crammed into one. And Bigsound pay to have delegates come from the music industry all over the world to be here to see this mostly Australian talent. As an artist, I'm actually not terribly opposed to this. If I felt Bigsound could give me what I needed, it doesn't feel like a huge investment, given how much we already invest in our music. And I definitely understand why artists choose to play, and a lot of the ones I've spoken to don't have any regrets, even if they didn't get much out of it in terms of industry people. But you still make connections, and they might, they get to go to all the conferences and things, so you can learn a lot. So yeah, I get it from an artist perspective. I totally get it. But as a supporter of music, not paying artists makes me pretty fucking furious. So what they're forgetting is that the industry needs the artists. Bigsound is already doing the industry people a favour by gathering so many great artists into one event. It's laid out in front of them without the need to search. It's all there. They can just, flip-flop between venues and hopefully stumble upon someone they love. And, they have the events throughout the day where you can, mingle, I guess. I don't know. Network. And Bigsound is definitely for the industry. It goes out of its way to support the industry. This whole event is to support the business side of the industry. So I feel like they could chuck a couple of bucks to the artists, maybe, who are actually, the reason. I don't know. Anyway, that's just my opinion about the dollars. But yeah, I get it. I see both sides. I also, my biggest gripe with Bigsound is that it sort of perpetuates the idea that you need management, you need PR, the label, that you need the industry business to be successful as a musician. You can't be independent. And in the way that it pushes these aspects of the industry, not just as tools to help you as a musician. Hey, a manager is going to help you to free up your time to be creative. But just it pushes them not as tools, but as the standard. You have to have this to be successful. They're not just tools to help you. You have to. And you don't. But you will then have the festivals and the government national broadcaster and whoever adopting this as the standard because it's put forward as the standard, and kind of refusing to look at artists beyond the industry bubble or to independent artists. And then by making this the standard, it then opens artists up to be exploited by people, the industry people, by signing shitty deals to line someone else's pockets because the alternative is nothing, So it very much having this as a stand. Yeah, I don't know. Those are my feelings. It's not everyone in the industry side is bad. I mean, I say the industry side, all of it is the industry. The artists are the industry, but the business side of the industry. There are a lot of really great people in that side, and a lot of them were musicians themselves. Some of them weren't, and are just really good people. But there are a lot of people who only talk to you to determine how they can make money from you. And I interact with a lot of them. I try not to. I try to knuckle down and see as many bands as possible. But sometimes you get a little bit of fatigue. You just want to stay in one spot for a minute. You end up talking to people. The question that I get asked, that I hate so much from these industry people, is, what's your deal? That's the question. Or there will be some derivative of that question. What's your deal? And you're supposed to sell yourself then, I guess. That's where you talk about what you do. Hey, I'm in a band, yada yada. My response to that every time is, I'm just a Leo. And that usually explains why I'm dressed so fabulous. Because I do, look generally fabulous most of the time when I'm out. even if I'm just a spectator. You get it. So yeah, I'm just a Leo. I think I was wearing a tiara the other night. Yeah. So you get it. I don't know. I hopefully deter the ones that only talking to you to see how they can make money off you. And I usually make friends. Sometimes I just see bands and don't talk to many people, but I usually make friends, which I guess is also networking. So maybe I'm playing into the whole thing. So yeah, there's definitely positives and negatives. I see both sides, and I have mixed feelings generally. I like that it exists. I think maybe just some bits could change. I don't know how to make that happen. So I'm just talking into my radio microphone and not doing a whole lot of ASMR right now. Sorry about that, everybody. But yeah, so I just have opinions, but when your girl gets a free pass, she's gonna party. So that's what I did. Definitely did not plan to go, especially with the week that it was shaping up to be at my workplace. But then on Monday night was offered a pass, so I was like, well, I always have 100% good time. Maybe I could just have not have to go to all the things. But then once I start going to all the things, I'm like, well, my record was 28 bands. Let's see if I can break that record. Or I don't know, I'm very annoying. And then I ended up I don't have to go to after parties. I don't have to do that. Why am I like this? And then I saw some bands who I really, really loved, and then I go, okay, when can I see this band again? And fortunately they're playing tomorrow night and the next night, so I might talk about that as we go if I want to call out any particularly good shows I went to throughout this timetable reading. So maybe it's not going to be super relaxing after all if you're interested in stories. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to read this. It's going to be fun. We got this. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but there's this party safe notice. Everyone should feel safe to go out and have a top night, right? Concert care is a social code that no longer blurs the lines of what behavior is and isn't okay at live events, and offers more support and intervention options on ground. With a multifaceted safety and prevention approach, we continue to evolve our systems, spaces, and programs to empower, making our events, spaces, and actions more inclusive and accessible for all. Don't forget to drop in and visit Bigsound's concert care safe zones. Visit the Bigsound website for further details. If you see something, say something. And then it's got in emergency, call 000, call Police Beat, Fortitude Valley, 37375844, call Bigsound Concert Care, 0493 502 638, or speak to the nearest Bigsound staff member, volunteer, or venue staff member. And then it's got download the app, which I think that the app was definitely more helpful than one of these, because there's a lot on this. There's a lot. And it does have a map on the back, which I guess is a bit helpful. Yeah, the map's pretty good. So we're going to do the timetable for Tuesday, 3rd of September, festival schedule. So what I'm going to do, how I'm going to read this, because it's a big table, I'm just going to start with the name of the venue, and then I'll just read the artists and what time they're playing. So start off with Black Bear Lodge. Sonic Reducer, 7 to 7:30 p.m. Bella Mackenzie, 8 to 8:30 p.m. Georgia Lines, 9 to 9:30 p.m. Austin Mackey, 10 to 10:30 p.m. Blutz Bar. Lucy Sugarman, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Vinnie Brigant, maybe, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Wattie Thompson, 9:30 to 10 p.m. Rowena Wise, 10:30 to 11 p.m. Eclipse. Julian Munyard, 7 to 7:30 p.m. Jerome Blaze, or Blase, maybe, 8 to 8:30 p.m. Remedy, 9 to 9:30 p.m. Devora, 10 to 10:30 p.m. Garden Stage, the Prince Consort. Neptune, 7:15 to 7:45 p.m. Betty Ray's, 8:15 to 8:45 p.m. Total Tommy, 9:15 to 9:45 p.m. Imi Owusu, 10:15 to 10:45 p.m. Honky Tonks. This New Light, 7:15 to 7:45 p.m. Charlotte Leleuve, 8:15 to 8:45 p.m. Claudia Tripp, 9:15 to 9:45 p.m. Yoga, or Y-O-G-A, 10:15 to 10:45 p.m. JBL Live at Bigsound Stage. JBL Live at Bigsound Stage. That was right in the middle of the Brunswick Street Mall, I think. Will Hearn, 6:30 to 7 p.m. Holly Heeb, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Ishan, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Cap Carter, 9:30 to 10 p.m. La La Land, the Prince Consort. That's upstairs from the garden stage. Eric Sanders, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Medhanit, 8:15 to 8:45 p.m. Page, 9 to 9:30 p.m. Zion Garcia, 9:45 to 8:15 p.m. That can't be right. That must be a typo. Okay, I think that's supposed to be 9:45 to 10:15 p.m. Stocker, 10:30 to 11 p.m. Saka, 11:15 to 11:45 p.m. Rick's Backyard and... oh, wait, I've said that wrong. Rick's Bar and Backyard. Rick's Bar and Backyard. I'm not sure if they had anything inside at Rick's Bar space, but they had a lot of things outside at Rick's Backyard, so I don't know why they didn't just call it Rick's Backyard, but anyway, it's fine. Charlie Pittman, 7:15 to 7:45 p.m. AKA Louis, 8:15 to 8:45 p.m. Marvel, 9:15 to 9:45 p.m. Pep Talk, 10:15 to 10:45 p.m. Dive Bar Youth, 11:15 to 11:45 p.m. Soapbox Beer. No Cigar, 7:15 to 7:45 p.m. Prink, 8:15 to 8:45 p.m. Same Pains, 9:15 to 9:45 p.m. Hoon, 10:15 to 10:45 p.m. The Bright Side Indoors, Dust, 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Darts, 8 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Sly Withers, 9 to 9:30 p.m. Park Road, 10 to 10:30 p.m. Mulga Bore Hard Rock, 11 to 11:30 p.m. The Bright Side Outdoors, Triple J Unearthed, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Tiffy, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Dear Sunday, 9:30 to 10 p.m. Dolores, 10:30 to 11 p.m. Maisha, 11:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. The Outpost. Juice Webster, 7:15 to 7:45 p.m. Beck Sykes, 8:15 to 8:45 p.m. Stella Bridie, 9:15 to 9:45 p.m. Armlock, 10:15 to 10:45 p.m. The Sound Garden. Reiki Ruawe, 7 to 7:30 p.m. Jamal Yami, 8 to 8:30 p.m. Ray Dimakari Dixon, 9 to 9:30 p.m. J. Miller and Young Miller Same Blood, 10 to 10:30 p.m. The Wickham. Mizuzi, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Hydra Fashion Week, 8:30 to 9 p.m. By J, 9:30 to 10 p.m. Elena, 10:30 to 11 p.m. Tomcat. Underlay, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Garage Sale, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Bean Magazine, 9:30 to 10 p.m. Muzzle, 10:30 to 11 p.m. Wonderland, downstairs. Veta Born, 7 to 7:30 p.m. Mac the Knife, 8 to 8:30 p.m. Kelly Holiday, 9 to 9:30 p.m. Friday, 10 to 10:30 p.m. Sesame Girl, 11 to 11:30 p.m. Wonderland, upstairs. Rob Edwards, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Matahara, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Miles Nautu, 9:30 to 10 p.m. And Love, 10:30 to 11 p.m. That's all of Tuesday. Just Tuesday. So on Tuesday I saw Sonic Reducer, Juice Webster, Underlay, Mac the Knife, Betty Ray's, Garage Sale, Sly Withers, Bean Magazine, Park Road, Hoon, Muzzle, Sesame Girl, Mulga Bore Hard Rock, and Maisha. 14 different acts. Highlight was definitely Sonic Reducer and Betty Ray's, and I really enjoyed Hoon. But honestly, I saw a lot of really great bands. Betty Ray's I've seen before and sort of I knew about them, I guess, already. So, but yeah, Sonic Reducer I hadn't heard of. I just sort of vaguely, they look like vaguely my jam. Went in there and was like, oh wow, okay, yes, this is my jam. And I really like Maisha as well. So I think I was just tired by then though. So Maisha was on like way late, like 11:30 on a Tuesday after I'd had a big day. So I was getting a bit tugged out by then. So yeah, it was a lot of good stuff. So that was definitely my I saw the most bands on Tuesday. Like, I was fresh and I was like flip-flopping between venues. I didn't sit down at all. I think I smashed a burrito at some point, but generally I didn't do any. If I ran into someone, I might go say, oh, I'm about to go to this, and if they were going to that, we'd go together. But I didn't really stop to talk much, so I did pop into Quiver, which was the kind of one of the breakout spaces, like a little calm corner if you wanted to get away from the action. So that was a bit cute. But anyway, let's kick on to Wednesday. So by the time I got home, I think it was about 1, and then I probably had a shower, and I don't know. So I probably got the most sleep on Tuesday night. I did have to get up for work at 6, so yeah, probably the most sleep that night. But yeah, so we got round 2 here. Wednesday, 4th of September festival schedule. Wednesday, 4th of September, round 2. Black Bear Lodge. Sesame Girl, 7 to 7:30 p.m. Private Wives, 8 to 8:30 p.m. Ray Dimakari Dixon, 9 to 9:30 p.m. Jamal Yami, 10 to 10:30 p.m. Underlay, 11 to 11:30 p.m. Blutz Bar. Reiki Ruawe, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Elena, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Georgia Lines, 9:30 to 10 p.m. Macy, 10:30 to 11 p.m. Paige, 11:30 to 12, 11:30 p.m. to midnight, 12 a.m. Next, Eclipse. Chloe Parsh. Parshe, I don't know, it's got a little accent. Chloe Parsh, 7 to 7:30 p.m. Stocker, 8 to 8:30 p.m. Oh, this one's tricky. So it's spelt WVCHWY. Maybe it's which way? I'm not sure about bands that don't put vowels, but I think it's which way. 9 to 9:30 p.m. Tiffy, 10 to 10:30 p.m. Juno, 11 to 11:30 p.m. Garden Stage, the Prince Consort. Lottie McLeod, 7:15 to 7:45 p.m. By J, 8:15 to 8:45 p.m. Sex Mask, 9:15 to 9:45 p.m. Play Lunch, 10:15 to 10:45 p.m. Sly Withers, 11:15 to 11:45 p.m. Honky Tonks. Claudia Tripp, 7:15 to 7:45 p.m. Wattie Thompson, 8:15 to 8:45 p.m. Austin Mackey, 9:15 to 9:45 p.m. Lane Pittman, 10:15 to 10:45 p.m. Hudson Rose, 11:15 to 11:45 p.m. JBL Live at Bigsound Stage. Charlie Pittman, 6:30 to 7 p.m. Marvel, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Little Guilt, 8:30 to 9 p.m. La La Land, the Prince Consort. Cooper Smith, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Helena Zara, 8:15 to 8:45 p.m. Mizuki, 9 to 9:30 p.m. Jamaica Moana, 9:45 to 8:15 p.m. Breathe, 10:30 to 11 p.m. Hellcat Speed Racer, 11:15 to 11:45 p.m. Rick's Bar and Backyard. Juice Webster, 7:15 to 7:45 p.m. Melaleuca, 8:15 to 8:45 p.m. Garage Sale, 9:15 to 9:45 p.m. Homegrown Trio, 10:15 to 10:45 p.m. Then from 11:15 they had there was a Sailor Jerry's event. It's not on this timetable actually. I only know about it because I went to it. But it had Sonic Reducer and Hoon and Mac the Knife and the Bel Air lip balms and someone else. Oh, Private Wives. Yeah, Private Wives. So that was good. That was actually really good because they were all kind of quite good bands that some of them I'd seen before and wanted to see again. So that was nice. And it was sort of an opportunity, like after I'd done with everything kind of around, to just be in one location and sit down. So that was really nice, instead of running around having a chat to people. And yep. Oh my god, I'm talking in the middle of the thing. Okay, I'm gonna get back to the timetable. I'm sorry everyone. Soapbox Beer. Alienist, 7:15 to 7:45 p.m. The Bel Air Lip Balms, 8:15 to 8:45 p.m. Yes, they did play twice in the same night. The Prize, 9:15 to 9:45 p.m. Towns, 10:15 to 10:45 p.m. Sun Bleached, 11:15 to 11:45 p.m. The Bright Side Outdoors. Oh, sorry. Nope, indoors is first. The Bright Side Indoors. Dick Move. 7 to 7:30 p.m. Same Pains, 8 to 8:30 p.m. Adam Newling, 9 to 9:30 p.m. Flow Cobra, 10 to 10:30 p.m. Bell Haven, 11 to 11:30 p.m. The Bright Side Outdoors. Triple J Unearthed, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Hannah Brewer, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Friday, 9:30 to 10 p.m. Velvet Trip, 10:30 to 11 p.m. Lot Gallagher, 11:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. The Outpost. Georgia Mooney, 7:15 to 7:45 p.m. Wade Forster, 8:15 to 8:45 p.m. Holly Heap, 9:15 to 9:45 p.m. Stella Bridie, 10:15 to 10:45 p.m. Swap Meet, 11:15 to 11:45 p.m. The Sound Garden. Highlander, 7 to 7:30 p.m. Sunny Lou, 8 to 8:30 p.m. Matt Joe Gow and Karen Fields, 9 to 9:30 p.m. Crystal West, 10 to 10:30 p.m. Kiwat Kennel, 11 to 11:30 p.m. There's some sirens. Sorry everyone, there's some sirens. The Wickham. Remedy, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Charlotte Laleuve, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Miles Natu, 9:30 to 10 p.m. Mao Power, 10:30 to 11 p.m. Jawbreakers, 11:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. Tomcat. Eggy, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Darts, 8:30 to 9 p.m. The Velvet Club, 9:30 to 10 p.m. Hydra Fashion Week, 10:30 to 11 p.m. Fool Nelson, 11:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. Wonderland downstairs. Jerome Blaze, or Blase, there's an accent, I don't know. 7 to 7:30 p.m. Squid the Kid, 8 to 8:30 p.m. Mudrat, 9 to 9:30 p.m. Spelt BLOKBSTR, so I'm guessing Blockbuster, 10 to 10:30 p.m. Dolores, 11 to 11:30 p.m. There's a plane. There's a lot of noises outside. I was hoping it would be mostly tweets. There's some tweets. There's definitely tweets. Yeah, okay. It's just more noticeable when the plane goes past. Anywho, let's get along to Wonderland. Upstairs, Wonderland. Imi Owusu, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Devora, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Veta Born, 9:30 to 10 p.m. Lupo the Boy, 10:30 to 11 p.m. Julian Munyard, 11:30 p.m. till 12 a.m. So, I just looked up because the Brightside Outdoors says Triple J Unearthed for the first slot. I just looked that up in the app because I didn't remember that in the app. On Tuesday, that band was JJ4K, and on Wednesday, that band is Lyric, and on Thursday, I'll read you when we get to Thursday, I think. So, yeah, let's do that one when we get to it. If it has it again, I just assumed. But, so on the Wednesday, I saw, let's see how many bands. I didn't number them all, so basically I numbered them 1 to 14 on day 1, and then day 2, I numbered them 15 to 23, which is 9 bands, but then I saw 2 bands twice, which I didn't number them because I didn't count them as a separate band. But if you just count Wednesday, I saw 11 bands, so a little bit down on the Tuesday. I saw Melaleuca first. I missed Dick Move that day. I wanted to see Dick Move, but I caught them the next day, don't worry everybody. So, start off with Melaleuca, seen them before, local band, played the Comcarb, good people, wanted to go see a band that I already liked, you get it. So Melaleuca, and then Darts, and then Mudrat, Sex Mask, Jamaica Moana, Towns, Hydra Fashion Week, the Bel Air Lip Bombs, Private Wives, Sonic Reducer No. 2, and Hoon No. 2. The last few, the Bel Air Lip Bombs, Private Wives, Sonic Reducer, and Hoon, were at Rick's for an extra special event at the end. Mac the Knife also played, but I didn't really see them. I think I was just chatting. So I didn't count them on there. There was also a few, because the ones that are in the mall, the JBL Live at Bigsound stage, sometimes I would stop and watch a song or two, but I didn't really spend much time there, so I didn't count any of those bands, and I didn't go there to see a band, if that makes sense. So I saw a bit of Marvel on Wednesday, but I didn't count that because I didn't really plan, I don't know. Anyway, so Mudrat was, the sound was so bad. It was bad. There's no mids, so the guitar, there was no guitar. The keys were lost, the drums were just so flat. It wasn't good sound. So that was a bit disappointing, because I was like, I feel like I would like this band because they were super high energy. So I had actually just scheduled to see them at this one, but I specifically made time in my Thursday to go see them, and I'm so glad I did. I'll tell you about that more in a little bit. So glad I did. But on this day, I wasn't super a fan of it. Sex Mask were great. Jamaica Moana was a definite highlight. She was amazing. Towns, actually probably my favourite band of the day was Towns. I did see Sonic Reducer again, and there's a lot of good bands. It's very hard. It's hard to pick a favourite sometimes, but you just know, you get the vibes. So we're going to do Thursday now. I know we've been at this for a while, but hopefully it's suitably boring for you, I guess. That you are having a bit of a snooze now. We're getting to Thursday. So I don't know if... I didn't mention that I actually got home after 4 a.m. because we stayed at Rick's after this. So this extra event went until 2 a.m. So normal things go until midnight. But the extra event at Rick's, the Sailor Jerry one, it went until 2 or 2:30. I think the last band started at 2. So, yeah, look, I had a cute time. Made some friends along the way. Got to hang out with some good friends. And rolled into my house with a little bit under 2 hours sleep. So less than 2 hours sleep that night. So we're coming into Thursday, and by this time I'm an entire bag of dicks. I've gone to work all day. Had a lot of things, going on at work. Been a very stressful week. And less than 2 hours sleep. Not ideal. Didn't get a lot the night before. Not ideal. So we're going into Thursday, an entire bag of dicks. I managed to get an afternoon nap on Thursday after work for about 40 minutes. So that definitely, I didn't get that on Wednesday. So I did get a little bit of a 40-minute recharge, which was fine. Okay, so Thursday, 5th of September, festival schedule. Black Bear Lodge. Mac the Knife, 7 to 7:30 p.m. Swap Meet, 8 to 8:30 p.m. Alex the Astronaut, 9 to 9:30 p.m. This New Light, 10 to 10:30 p.m. Rowena Wise, 11 to 11:30 p.m. Blutz Bar, Love, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Neptune, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Melaleuca, 9:30 till 10 p.m. Will Hearn, 10:30 to 11 p.m. Chloe Parsh, 11:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eclipse. Matahara, 7 to 7:30 p.m. Blockbuster, 8 to 8:30 p.m. Breathe, 9 to 9:30 p.m. Hellcat Speed Racer, 10 to 10:30 p.m. Front Row, 11 to 11:30 p.m. Garden Stage, The Prince Consort. Fool Nelson, 7:15 to 7:45 p.m. Cap Carter, 8:15 to 8:45 p.m. Mudrat, 9:15 to 9:45 p.m. Hannah Brewer, 10:15 to 10:45 p.m. Dick Move, 11:15 to 11:45 p.m. Honky Tonks. Crystal West, 7:15 to 7:45 p.m. Homegrown Trio, 8:15 to 8:45 p.m. Georgia Mooney, 9:15 to 9:45 p.m. Matt Jogal and Karen Fields, 10:15 to 10:45 p.m. Wade Forster, 11:15 to 11:45 p.m. JBL Live at Bigsound Stage. Bella Mackenzie, 6:30 to 7 p.m. Midharnet, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Juno, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Play Lunch, 9:30 to 10 p.m. La La Land, The Prince Consort. Lupo the Boy, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Which Way, 8:15 to 8:45 p.m. Highlander, 9 to 9:30 p.m. Jawbreakers, 9:45 to 8:50. They did it again. Did they do it on Wednesday? Oh, they did it on Wednesday and I didn't notice. This venue has put 9:45 to 8:15 p.m. Not this venue, but the timetable has put it for this venue in the same every day. It should have been 10:15 p.m. Squid the Kid, 10:30 to 11 p.m. Dem Mob, 11:15 to 11:45 p.m. Rick's Bar and Backyard. Muzzle, 7:15 to 7:45 p.m. Vinnie Brigant, 8:15 to 8:45 p.m. Hudson Rose, 9:15 to 9:45 p.m. Eggy, 10:15 to 10:45 p.m. No Cigar, 11:15 to 11:45 p.m. Soapbox Beer. Park Road, 7:15 to 7:45 p.m. Flow Cobra, 8:15 to 8:45 p.m. Dust, 9:15 to 9:45 p.m. Bean Magazine, 10:15 to 10:45 p.m. Sex Mask, 11:15 to 11:45 p.m. The Bright Side Indoors. Sun Bleached, 7 to 7:30 p.m. The Prize, 8 to 8:30 p.m. Dear Seattle, 9 to 9:30 p.m. Alienist, 10 to 10:30 p.m. Dear Sunday, 11 to 11:30 p.m. The Bright Side Outdoors. Triple J Unearthed, which is Dizzy Days, 7:30 to 8 p.m. The Velvet Club, 8:30 to 9 p.m. The Bel Air Lip Bombs, 9:30 to 10 p.m. Stand Atlantic, 10:30 to 11 p.m. The Outpost. Beck Sykes, 7:15 to 7:45 p.m. Noah Dillon, 8:15 to 8:45 p.m. Lane Pittman, 9:15 to 9:45 p.m. Lucy Sugarman, 10:15 to 10:45 p.m. The Sound Garden. Sunny Lou, 7 to 7:30 p.m. Mao Power, 8 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Velvet Trip, 9 to 9:30 p.m. Mulgabore Hard Rock, 10 to 10:30 p.m. Jamaica Moana, 11 to 11:30 p.m. The Wickham. Saka, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Eric Sanders, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Rob Edwards, 9:30 to 10 p.m. Cooper Smith, 10:30 to 11 p.m. Lottie McLeod, 11:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. Just got very gusty, very windy. I'm in a little nook though, everybody, don't worry. Tomcat. Little Guilt, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Prink, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Hoon, 9:30 to 10 p.m. Armlock, 10:30 to 11 p.m. Sonic Reducer, 11:30 p.m. till 12 a.m. Wonderland Downstairs. Dive Bar Youth, 7 to 7:30 p.m. Ishan, 8 to 8:30 p.m. Helena Zara, 9 to 9:30 p.m. Zion Garcia, 10 to 10:30 p.m. Total Tommy, 11 to 11:30 p.m. Wonderland Upstairs, aka Louie, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Macy, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Kiwat Kennel, 9:30 to 10 p.m. Pep Talk, 10:30 to 11 p.m. Private Wives, 11:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. So on Thursday I saw The Prize, Prink, Dear Seattle, Mudrat, Eggy, Stand Atlantic, Dick Move, and Sonic Reducer number 3. Oh, and Mudrat was number 2. Mudrat 2. Sonic Reducer 3. So highlights were Mudrat and Sonic Reducer. No surprises from the Sonic Reducer, but Mudrat didn't love the sound the first time, but in a different venue with better sound. Fantastic. Great band. Enjoyed that thoroughly. Also a lot of really good bands actually. Like really enjoyed Dick Move. Prink was so good. It was all around just a cute time. There were bands I missed. I think that I meant to get out early to see Fool Nelson, I think. I'd never heard of them, but I think I looked them up and I was like, oh, I wouldn't mind seeing them. Sunbleached, who I think are a local band that I've seen before, but didn't have my stuff together to get there on time to see that. Pep Talk, someone had told me later, and Armlock were 2 bands that I would probably like. Actually, no, Armlock that I would probably like, and then I met someone from Pep Talk maybe. I can't remember. It was all a blur, everybody. It was all a blur. But yeah, very cute time. So after the party, right, is the after party, you get it. And I think a bunch of bands were playing. So this was inside the Fortitude Music Hall, which is a very big venue. And they did have some people play. I think Mallrat and Psycho and a bunch of others. I didn't actually see any of them. I just was... So, okay. So, okay, let's go to the after party. Off we go to the Fortitude Music Hall, or the Fort. And yeah, just immediately talking to people, making new friends. Didn't see any of the music in that venue. Was upstairs for most of the night. And I got home about 4 a.m. again. So, it was a big day. It's a big day. Yeah, my whole everything was a big time, and I partied hard. And this has been like a lot of our lives together spent, dear listeners, on me recounting this situation while sitting in the park, touching the grass, and having a generally cute time. So I think we're done with Bigsound for the year. I do really enjoy it. I just have critiques. I have critiques, but I do enjoy it. And I know there are a lot of people who definitely have critiques as well. But we're going to put that aside for a year till the next one. Maybe. I don't know, everybody. It's time. Well, let's move along. We're just sitting out here in the park. It's a beautiful day. Is there any clouds? There's no clouds. There's no clouds. It's daytime, everybody. It's behind the curtain. This is filmed. Recorded. Not at the time that it's going live to air because of the digital. Zed Digital isn't live like the regular 4ZZZ. So we do have to pre-record it and then kind of get it uploaded. So it's the daytime. Normally I do record in the middle of the night, so it's less weird. I guess it is a little weird now because it's so bright and I don't feel like going to sleep particularly. So sorry everyone. This is the episode where you don't get to go to sleep because it's daytime. I actually find that I sleep quite well. Like I do quite well for an afternoon snooze. Actually, yeah, around about now is a good time for a snooze. So maybe that's why I don't sleep at night. I don't know, everybody. We've got some more show to do. There's a couple of things left. I don't remember which one of these I said I was going to do first, but we're going to get stuck into the Radio Times thing. I wanted to read this article called All Ages DIY Spaces in Brisbane 2015 because I think I felt it, I guess, directly contrasted the whole vibe of Bigsound to be talking about DIY spaces. And also a little bit of most of these spaces don't exist anymore, which is a bit sad. There are other venues that have popped up since, which is great, but for the most part, all ages spaces they're mostly limited to kind of car parks and, car park gigs and skate parks, and I feel like there's not as many of them around as there once was. I moved to Brisbane when I was 18, so I didn't need to go to all ages gigs, but I do like all ages gigs. I think that it's important to get the kids into the music scene and also support the kid bands, like the high school bands, and inspire the kids to have high school bands or big bands when they grow up, so they don't get all their media from TikTok, which is a little bit depressing sometimes. So I want to read about this article written by Nathan Kearney with direct inspiration from Andy Payne and his zine All Age DIY Music in Brisbane. There's a long history of DIY spaces in Brisbane, some of them iconic and long-lasting, others that come and go, leaving only brief memories of shows gone by. We've lost some iconic DIY spaces over the last year with the closing of the Waiting Room and 199 in West End and Sun Distortion in Albion. They were all venues which had been home to numerous shows by bands that you regularly hear on Zed. In the case of the Waiting Room, it was decided the venue wouldn't stay in operation at the discretion of the owner. Similarly, the Slab in South Brisbane decided to stop hosting regular live shows after consideration of the ever-increasing noise complaints, right on cue, from their neighbours. Just wait till this plane passes. Okay. There were other venues that weren't so lucky. Both Sun Distortion and 199 were shut down by external forces, proving that the DIY scene can be a formidable beast and unfortunately isn't immune to outside pressures from commercial ventures. That's not to say that it's all bad news. There are still places to go to see music outside of the regular bars, clubs, and other drinking holes. Places where new and exciting music is fostered and creative and social connections are made. There's even our very own 4ZZZ car park here in Fortitude Valley, which plays host to fairly frequent weekend afternoon shows, specifically for under 18s, that can be organised by contacting gunkband@hotmail.com. I don't think that's the current email for car park shows, everybody. Contact 4ZZZ. Cool. Turnstile in South Brisbane describe themselves as a collectively run social space that provides resources for people and groups working on projects that benefit the community and or for activist change. They often have fundraiser gigs for different causes and are known for their incredibly cheap and delicious woodfire pizza. Oh, there's a bug. Okay. Brews Brothers in Woolloongabba is actually a brewery, but a separate band room means that it's still an all-ages space. They host a lot of punk gigs, but sometimes other styles as well. It's basically a function room for hire with walls covered in cool, stenciled artwork. Via Studios in Bowen Hills have infrequent gigs. It's actually a rehearsal space, but bands do use it for shows. They won't be advertised via directly, but more likely by the acts organising the gigs. Jet Black Cat Music in West End and Tim's Guitars in the Valley are both music retail venues that regularly hold in-store performances, often from national and international acts, and always free. Keep an eye on their Facebook pages to hear about upcoming shows. And of course, Brisbane's best-kept secret, Real Bad Music in Maruka, which caters mostly to the art, noise, punk scene, but delves into other areas. It also runs as a record shop from 4 to 10 p.m. on Wednesdays. All of these spaces are run by friendly, encouraging people who can be easily contacted if you would like to book a show of your own. Also, I can confidently say that all of these venues are still open and active currently, but if you're reading this a few months from now, it's possible some may not be. There is a need and demand for all ages music venues, and it's up to each of us to help cultivate older spaces and create new ones. I'm pretty sure most of them are actually closed down, so sorry everyone. Music can be made anywhere. All kinds of spaces are used or can be used for putting on shows like houses, backyards, parks, street corners, laundromats, cemeteries, and underneath bridges or anywhere else you can think of. The thing to remember about the DIY music is what the name means. Do it yourself. Music, like life, is not meant to be a spectator sport. Unlike the world of rock stars where they bombard us with ads from every angle, where they stand on a stage and the rest of us watch, the DIY scene is up to us to create. It not only welcomes contributions from everyone, it relies upon them. So that was written by Nathan Kearney with direct inspiration from Andy Payne and his zine All Age DIY Music in Brisbane. So yes, that I feel like is in direct contrast to Bigsound as an entity, but I think that both DIY and kind of industry music are like valuable and important, and I would hate to see the DIY venues go away completely. There's definitely more all ages venues have popped up, but yeah, for the most part, I think there's a lot of just skate park stuff. Yeah, I can't even tell you current ones now because I can't verify off the top of my head that they're still going. They're all ages, like spaces and venues, and DIY all ages spaces specifically. But the internet will hopefully help you if that's something that you wanted to look up. Things are moving along quite quickly because I'm waffling a lot, and I was going to read this dinosaur pamphlet I have. It's like, okay, so it's Australia's Dinosaur Trail. 4 attractions, 1 pass. Richmond, Hughenden, Winton. Richmond, Hughenden, Winton. And it just tells us a little bit about each of those locations and some facts to know before you head out to the Dinosaur Trail. There's actually, yeah, it might have been helpful before getting there, I guess. But so I guess I'm helping you to go live your Outback Queensland dinosaur dreams by preparing you with this Australia's Dinosaur Trail pamphlet thingo. And the 4 locations, 4 attractions are the Flinders Discovery Centre, Hughenden. If you'll remember, I talked about that last week. Kronosaurus Corner, Richmond. Kronosaurus Corner in Richmond. I mentioned going to there after Hughenden last week. Australian Age of Dinosaurs in Winton. Australian Age of Dinosaurs, Winton. And the Dinosaur Stampede in Winton. Dinosaur Stampede in Winton. I think the highlight was the Stampede. I'm going to level with you, everyone. I think we did them in this order as well. That exact order. The Stampede was pretty... Okay, the Australian Age of Dinosaurs was very good, but the Stampede was phenomenal. It just took a little bit of a kind of drive on some unsealed roads to get there. It's a bit interesting. Anyway, there's got the website address, www.australiasdinosaurtrail.com. And let's flick over to this first page where it talks about Hughenden. Hughenden. Hughenden is 376 kilometres west of Townsville and 519 kilometres east of Mount Isa. Access from the north is through the Kennedy Developmental Road. This partly sealed road is best checked before travelling, as rain can change road conditions very quickly. Flinders Discovery Centre. No place embraces the spirit of the outback quite like Hughenden. It is rich in fossil remains and ancient landscapes. Trek along the Eromanga Sea Byway and gaze over the open, sparse land that was once an ancient inland sea. See the layers of time at Porcupine Gorge National Park, forever preserved in the rock walls of Australia's Little Grand Canyon. The Flinders Discovery Centre houses an amazing exhibition of fossils and gems from around the world, as well as an extensive and growing display of fossils from the local area. Huey is the star attraction, a life-size skeletal replica. This 7-metre Matabarosaurus was cast from the original bones of a 110 million-year-old dinosaur found in the Flinders Shire. Huey casts a daunting figure as you enter the display area, instantly putting things into perspective. Although this dinosaur is believed to have been an herbivore, I would say herbivore, but it put an "an" in front of it, so an herbivore. Hard to say. English. Why are you doing this to me, English? You get the impression he is not someone that you would like to have met on a dark night. Progressing past the imposing figure, prepare to take a step back in time. The hundreds of fossils are superbly displayed in many individual glass cabinets. Well labelled, these fossils range from crustaceous animals in rock to ammonites ranging in size, colour and shape from around the world. Several different dinosaur bones, vertebrae and other exciting fossils are included in the collection. Fossil varieties include many marine reptiles, Matabarosaurus, Hughenden sauropod, Queensland pterosaur, and a large selection of ammonites, shells, mollusks and fish. To try your hand at finding your very own fossil, call at the Flinders Discovery Centre for a map and directions. Facebook.com/Flinders Discovery Centre, www.visithughenden.com.au. Hughenden is spelled Hughenden. Richmond. Richmond is located on the Flinders Highway, 498 kilometres west of Townsville and 406 kilometres east of Mount Isa, and is home to Australia's premier marine fossil museum, Kronosaurus Corner, featuring over 1,500 registered fossils from Richmond, outback Queensland. Kronosaurus Corner is Australia's premier marine fossil museum. The fossils on display provide fascinating insight into the creatures that survived in the ancient Eromanga Sea, which covered Richmond over 100 million years ago. Kronosaurus Corner is proud to exhibit many significant specimens, including Penny the polycotylid, one of the most complete vertebrate fossils in the world; Wanda, Australia's largest fossil fish; Carnibarosaurus yerversi, a small plant-eating dinosaur affectionately known as the armoured car of the Cretaceous; and Marlin's beastie. The limb bones of a completely new long-necked sauropod dinosaur. The museum also displays the largest known collection of fossils belonging to its namesake, Kronosaurus, a 10-metre-long predatory plesiosaur which was equipped with enormous crocodile-like jaws. The award-winning museum offers visitors handheld audio guides for a self-paced tour, beginning with a theatrette presentation where you can step back in time and watch our prehistoric past come to life. Fossil hunting sites. If a visit to Kronosaurus Corner ignites the desire to make the ultimate prehistoric discovery, you can satisfy your fossil fever by taking the short 12-kilometre drive to Richmond's fossil hunting sites. Permits are required and can be obtained from Kronosaurus Corner. By turning a few stones over, you may uncover a 110-million-year-old fossil, fish, squid, shark's tooth, bivalve, or giant marine reptile. You can bring your amazing finds back to Kronosaurus Corner for the museum staff to identify. Fossil hunting guides and maps are available from Kronosaurus Corner also. Schools and groups of 10 and over have the option of guided tours. There are 3 different tour types: museum, laboratory, and fossil hunting. Tours can be combined to create a full-day Kronosaurus Corner experience. Guided tours are by prior arrangement. Facebook.com/Kronoc, www.kronosauruscorner.com.au. Kronosaurus is Kronosaurus, and corner is spelt with a K. I vaguely remember that Kronosaurus Corner has the most complete dinosaur fossil in the world, which I think is the Kronosaurus. It's like 98% complete, which is the most complete fossil in the world of any dinosaur, which I thought was pretty cool. I think they also have 2 out of the 6 or 7 specimens of stomach contents, I think, in the world. Like 2 of them were found in like outback Richmond, Hughenden area in Queensland. So that's pretty cool. A lot of dinosaur stuff out there, everyone. If you're into dinosaurs, that is the place. Winton. Located 173 kilometres northwest of Longreach, 470 kilometres southeast of Mount Isa, and 1,500 kilometres from Brisbane, Winton is home to 2 world-class attractions: Australian Age of Dinosaurs Museum of Natural History and Dinosaur Stampede National Monument at Lark Quarry Conservation Park. Australian Age of Dinosaurs Museum of Natural History. The museum is approximately 12 kilometres southeast of Winton on the Landsborough Highway. Then drive 11 kilometres, 10 kilometres sealed and 1 kilometres gravel road, up to the Jump Up. The Australian Age of Dinosaurs is a museum focused on Australia's evolutionary history, in particular the discovery, conservation and research of Australia's dinosaurs. It is a working museum, an education resource, research facility and tourist attraction. It features the world's largest collection of fossils from Australia's largest dinosaurs, the most productive fossil preparation laboratory in the Southern Hemisphere, a guided tour including return transfers on the Noble Express shuttle to Dinosaur Canyon, where you get the chance to walk amongst life-size bronze Australian dinosaurs. Staff and volunteers working on real 95-million-year-old dinosaur bone fossils found in the Winton area, and spectacular views from the top of a giant mesa with striking rocky outcrops and canyons, walking trails, animal and bird life. It's a photographer's paradise. Dinosaur Stampede National Monument at Lark Quarry Conservation Park. Head 110 kilometres southwest from Winton via the Winton-Junda Road. The road to the trackways is suitable for conventional vehicles, however, approximately 65 kilometres of the road is unsealed. Driving from Winton to Dinosaur Stampede will take approximately 2 hours. The dinosaur trackways at Dinosaur Stampede National Monument were formed 95 million years ago and is the only known dinosaur stampede in the world, where over 3,300 tracks are immortalised in stone. In a remarkable piece of scientific detective work, scientists have pieced together a dramatic tale of the hunter and hunted. Now protected inside a modern ecologically sustainable building, this amazing window into our dinosaur past is on display year-round via on-site guided tours. Facebook.com/Australian Age of Dinosaurs, www.australianageofdinosaurs.com, www.dinosaurtrackways.com.au. The Dinosaur Stampede was so great. So great. I don't even know how to tell you how great it was. It's just so great. So, just go there. Just go there. Australia's Dinosaur Trail map. There's a legend with Unsealed Road, Strategic Touring Routes, Australia's Country Way, Capricorn Way, Great Inland Way, Leichhardt and Newell Highway, Matilda Way and Kidman Way, Overlanders Way, Pacific Coast Way and Savannah Way. That's the whole of the eastern half of Australia. Really, actually. Maybe not half. But it's got lots of roads, and that's cool. 4 attractions, 1 pass, Australia's Dinosaur Trail. A visit to Outback Queensland would not be complete without a visit to Australia's Dinosaur Trail, ADT. The ADT pass includes entry to the Australian Age of Dinosaurs Museum and Dinosaur Stampede National Monument in Winton, entry to Kronosaurus Corner in Richmond and Flinders Discovery Centre in Hughenden. If you are planning a trip to any of these attractions, save money and time with an ADT pass. The pass can be purchased at any of the 4 attractions. Passes are valid for 1 year from the date of purchase. Please check calendar for each attraction's opening hours over the Christmas period. This map is for promotional use only. For gazetted road names and accurate details, please refer to a quality touring map. This map only contains strategic touring routes and does not include any regional routes or local drives. Okay, and then on the back, some helpful info. Pre-trip planning. A little bit of preparation goes a long way in the outback. Ensure you have a good map and plan ahead. It's a good idea to calculate travel times and distances between stops, even preparing alternative routes, especially when travelling during the Australian summer, November to April, when rain and storms can impede travel plans. Fuel up. On major highways, fuel stops are rarely more than 200 kilometres apart, so it should not be necessary to carry spare fuel. However, where you do see no fuel signs, it means exactly that. Ensure that your vehicle is mechanically sound. Carry a first aid kit, ample water and spares such as tyres, radiator hoses and fan belts, together with a good toolkit. Ensure that your spare tyre is at the correct pressure. Road conditions. Contact the local visitor information centre in the town that you are visiting, or visit the Queensland Government Traffic and Travel Information website, qld.traffic.qld.gov.au, or call 131 940 for current road conditions. Stay in contact. If you're travelling remotely, it's always a good idea to let someone know where you're going and when you plan to get to there. Keeping in touch is not as hard as you might think via phone or radio. Heavy vehicles and road trains. Care should be taken when passing and overtaking road trains and heavy vehicles, including other caravans. Ensure you have a clear line of sight, allow plenty of room, and be prepared for vehicles to move a little from side to side as you overtake. If a road train is approaching to overtake you, move as far to the left as possible and stop if necessary to allow it to overtake easily. Often the road trains, because they are higher up and you can't really see around them because they're quite long, to signal that it's safe to go past them, which was helpful. Caravans. If you are a member of a caravanning convoy, don't travel too close together. Other road users will become frustrated if they are unable to overtake safely. The law requires caravans and other large vehicles outside a built-up area leave at least 60 metres between each other. The distance is 200 metres in a road train area. Single lane driving. When meeting road trains and heavy vehicles on single lane roads, slow right down and move off the road to the left. If it is safe to do so, move off the road entirely and stop to avoid driving into any obstacles on the verge. In wet conditions, road verges tend to be soft and or slippery. So when pulling off to the left, you should always keep your right wheels on the bitumen and keep moving slowly to avoid getting bogged. Fatigue and night driving. Long distances and stretches of unchanging landscape can make a driver very tired. Avoid driving at night as much as possible. Kangaroos and other wildlife are much more active at night and are harder to see on the roads. Winton Visitor Information Centre, 50 Elderslie Street, Winton, Queensland, 4735. Phone 1300 665 115. Waltzing at matildacentre.com.au. www.experiencewinton.com.au. Kronosaurus Corner, Richmond, 91 to 93 Goldring Street, Richmond, Queensland, 4822. Phone 074719 3390. Inquiries at kronosauruscorner.com.au. www.kronosauruscorner.com.au. Flinders Discovery Centre, Hughenden, 37 Grey Street, Hughenden, Queensland, 4821. Phone 074741 2970. Info at flinders.qld.gov.au. www.visithughenden.com.au. So that was the Australia's Dinosaur Trail kind of pamphlet describing all 4 main dinosaur attractions. There's little bits like sporadically a lot throughout. You can look them up on the internet. But yeah, it's a really good time. I do recommend. It's my favourite place. If I ever just disappear one day, I'm probably just going to dig up fossils or whatever at the museum. So don't that's what'll happen. Just getting it out there, putting it out there. That's where I'll be. So that's everything that I've got to tell you in this park, or this bushland reserve. I'm not in a park. I'm in this kind of nook, grassy nook, sort of near the walking path, a little bit off it, my grassy nook. So I'm going to go home and play you some gentle piano, gentle piano, just to see out the rest of the show. Thanks everyone for tuning in to this special AZMR episode number 14, where we come from, on location at Capera Bushland Reserve, where we've had all sorts of sounds accompanying us this evening. And thank you for tuning in to AZMR. And good night, 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 good night.